you knew that you had to turn to God because He's the only one that could get you out.
Such a blessing to be able to sit with you, son.
You know, like in the isolation, sometimes we feel lonely or not being able to fit in, or this person is not going to bother with me or whatever. But that is the time when God says, "Be still."
Right.
And know that I am God. There you go. Thank you, Jesus.
I'm a single mom with 2 kids, struggling, rape victim, homeless, robbed at gunpoint. All those things had to happen to me to birth me for my purpose today. And that's why I'm standing here today giving back. Great day, great day, great day, everyone. We're here live today with your girl, Erica Wilson. Excuse me, it had to happen. Guys, today's topic is a little bit touching, very touching for me, especially. I'm getting a little choked up already, so please do excuse me. But guys, we will have the beautiful Angela Harris here before you guys. And our topic for today, which is season 3, episode 8. Aniah's Heart Speaks. Whew. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Angela as she's having a difficult time on getting on. Okay, I see that she's on now. Hey, Angela. But guys, listen, today's topic is Aniah's Heart Speaks, featuring the beautiful Angela Harris. The tragic abduction and murder of 19-year-old college student and Homewood, Alabama native Aniah Blanchard in October of 2019 captured the heart of the nation. Her story quickly gained widespread national media attention, and baby blue ribbons representing hope for Aniah's safe return sprang up everywhere, seemingly overnight. Aniah was reported missing to the Auburn Police Department on October 24th, 2019. On November 25th, human remains were found in the woods in Macon County, as were articles of clothing similar to what Aniah had been wearing when she disappeared. The remains were identified as Aniah Blanchard's 2 days later, excuse me guys. An autopsy found she had been killed by a gunshot wound. Since their daughter's tragic death, Aniah's parents have been vocal and dedicated proponents of Aniah's law. This bill seeks to expand the list of serious crimes for which judges can deny bail, adding Class A felonies, including murder, kidnapping, assault, sexual torture, rape, domestic violence, human trafficking, aggravated child abuse, and terrorism. In these cases, prosecutors can propose a hearing during which the defendant is allowed to testify and present or cross-examine witnesses. The judge can then choose to grant or deny bail based on the testimonies and evidence presented. Aniah's law was passed by the Alabama House of Representatives 104-0 in February 2020. To God be the glory. And now awaits approval by the Alabama Senate. In the face of this tragedy, Aniah's family and friends have found many other ways to honor her life, preserve her memory, and work toward making a difference for victims of violent crime and their families. Aniah's heart is dedicated to supporting education. Aniah's heart is dedicated to supporting, educating, and spreading awareness among those who have been touched by violent crimes, as well as those who, thanks to the nonprofit's efforts, may never have to. Guys, if you want to learn about this nonprofit organization, which is Aniah's Heart, whether you like to partner with Aniah's Heart, learn more about their services, or even if you have a loved one who has gone missing, please use the form that's on their website to send them a message. Angela is doing a phenomenal job at spreading awareness. And she says, we appreciate your support while we continue our mission to fight to save lives and help to keep your loved ones safe. Guys, without further ado, I would like to present to some and introduce to others the beautiful Angela Harris.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I guess I'm just okay. I was having a moment
Yes,
before, though. I just try every day. That's all I can do is just get up and try. It's hard. It's hard. But Anaya is what keeps me going. My kids, it keeps me going. But I'm living for her. I'm living for her.
absolutely, absolutely. I didn't want to just jump right into that, which is a very, very difficult. I'm sure it's very, very difficult, being though that, I was once kidnapped myself, but understanding as a parent to get that call, the not knowing, just so many mixed emotions, the hope, and just earlier today, right before I came upstairs to get on the show, I saw on the news where a young lady was abducted years ago, right? And she was just reunited with her family. That's because people were helping out. And when I watch your a little piece about your daughter, Anaya, I saw where a husband was told not to tell, like to basically mind your business. That's the witness that they saw, right? The witness that saw Anaya being forced into a car.
Actually, I can't speak on that. I'm under a gag order, so I can't speak on
Okay,
that part
okay,
of it. I'm sorry.
okay, absolutely. Well, just tell us, let's start off with, who is Angela Harris? Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, first, I'm a mother. I'm a mother of 5. My first son, Darian, was killed in a car accident when he was 3. He was my first son and only at the time. And I have Elijah, who's 22. He's a senior at Auburn University here in Alabama. Anaya would have been 21 this year. I had her on my birthday. We share a birthday, June 22nd. I have Asa, my son, who is 15 years old, and Ayla, a daughter who's 8 years old. I am a registered nurse. I was a pediatric nurse in the Children's of Alabama Hospital in the ER for 19 years, actually, and I retired in May of 2019. So I'm the wife of Walt Harris, UFC fighter. So that's who I am. That's me. Just a mom, a nurse, and a wife.
Wow, Angela, and I got the pictures of your beautiful family. Oh my God. If we could just show Angela's family, she has such a beautiful family. And I just want to ask you, how is it that you're a nurse and this full-time mom and this full-time wife? Like, how does that work? How do you balance?
Woo! I don't even know sometimes. It's tough, to say the least. so, but you know, I love everything that I do. I think that's what keeps me going. I love being a mom. First of all, I love being a mother, and you know, and I love being a nurse, and I love being a wife. So I think that's, you know, that's how what's what gets me through, is that I love what I do, and I love who I am, and I love my family.
And that's what counts. When you love what you do it with your whole heart. You know, it's nothing like doing something that you have no joy, get no joy out of doing. And like I said, your family is so beautiful, Angela. And
Thank
I
you.
must say, you're most welcome. You have to be one of the strongest people I know. I was telling my producer that I was a little nervous, and I've never gotten this nervous before about a show. And I just want you to know that, excuse me if I cry, but I'm
Okay, I'm
just,
crying
you
too.
know, yeah, yeah. So, mm, you say you had an Anaya on your birthday. Jesus, what a birthday gift.
It
And you
was
say you guys' birthday was,
June 22nd.
yes, wow. Whew. Happy
Yeah,
belated birthday.
thank
Happy
you.
belated birthday.
We loved
I'm
sharing our birthday.
stuck.
It was amazing. You know, some people always ask me how I felt about sharing a birthday with her, and ask her the same thing. How do you feel sharing a birthday with your mom? But for us, it was like, we loved it. Like there was never Anaya. She was just so sweet and caring. It was never about her. It was like, oh no, this is my mom's day. So
And then is that your first daughter?
yes,
That was your first daughter? Oh
first
my
daughter.
God. What was it like when you got the news saying that she was going to be delivered on your birthday? What was that like? Just
Well, it was
walk us through that
um,
day.
I think 2 days before I went to the doctor, and she had told me, because Anaya was my third child. She said, well, we're going to induce you. She said, my doctor asked, do you want to be induced on the 21st or the 22nd? And it was the 20th. I think it was the 20th. And I said, I said, definitely the 22nd. It's got to be my birthday. I want to have her on my birthday. So I was afraid she was going to come though before I went home, and, you know, it was, you know, anticipating, you know, going back to the hospital to be induced. But I thought, well, what if she comes before then? But she didn't. So we went to the hospital on the morning of June 22nd, and it didn't take long though. I didn't have a hard labor or delivery with her at all. So
Oh my God. And how much did she weigh?
6 pounds and 6 ounces. And
Oh my
she
God.
was the
And just
smallest.
to hear,
She was the smallest of
she
all
was
of my
what?
babies. She was the smallest of all of my babies.
Oh my,
Yeah,
wow.
but
So when you delivered on your birthday, being in the hospital on your birthday, but giving birth to a child is like none other, you know. And I say that because I had my son on Christmas and I was in the hospital on Christmas. But just to lay eyes on your child, you know, you forget about all of that. You just think about the joy that's right there in front of you. So, what were some of the things that you guys did during your birthdays?
oh wow! Of course, the cake. The cake was very important, especially to Anaya and me. I love cake, but Anaya loved to eat, and she loves sweets. So the main thing was we had to get that birthday cake right. And then it was kind of, we never really planned our birth, like we never planned like ahead of time, just except for the cake. Me and I were kind of like spur of the moment, like what are we gonna do today? Like, but we knew it was gonna be fun no matter what we planned. So it was always just like, okay, what do we feel like doing today, or what do we feel like doing tomorrow for our birthday? So because it was always last minute stuff, kind of. But we always did something fun. It random, either if it's going to the pool or the beach, or going to go bowling. We did kind of, that was our thing. Like several times we just went to the beach or went to the pool or went bowling, but there was always the party though, always the food, always the cake.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Okay, so I heard you say in the early part of our conversation, you said that you lost a son when he was 3.
Yeah.
And here it is years later, you lose another child. My heartfelt condolences to you.
Something I never, after I lost Darian, I became a nurse when I went to nursing school when Aniah was just 6 weeks old. And so I wasn't a nurse when I lost Darian. I just thought to myself, surely, I will never lose another child. That just can't happen. And so, I worked in the emergency, I already have cried. I worked in the emergency department here, at the Children's Hospital of Alabama. And saw a lot of death, saw a lot of tragedy, saw a lot of kids die. And I always told my coworkers that, if something happened to another one of my kids, I just wouldn't be able to make it. And that's just not how it is. That's just not real. That's not realistic. I can't believe it. It's still unreal that this is happening. This is life. That Aniah is not here. I have to tell myself a million times a day. I have to remind myself that she's gone. So yeah, it's unbelievable, and I haven't accepted it yet.
Jesus. Ooh. I know that it's definitely something that's very, very, very hard. And do you find yourself still going to her room? Do you find yourself still going to look for that phone call? Because I'm sure you guys probably FaceTime or talked every day.
We FaceTimed every day, every morning at 8 a.m. Me and Aniah, when she had went off to college, it was her second year of college. Every morning at 8 o'clock, no, on the dot, we knew that we were FaceTime. That's why the morning the morning after she was kidnapped, when I didn't get that FaceTime call from her and I tried to FaceTime her, I was like, okay, it's going to be just a few minutes and she'll call. But I had went home and fell back asleep, and that's when I got the phone call from my son. But it didn't matter what we were doing. I would be going to Walmart, be going to TJ Maxx, to Home Goods. I'm calling Aniah. I mean, like, we just had to be always, if we were not with each other, we at least had to be on the phone. She always had to know what I was doing. I always had to know what she was doing. It's kind of like we were twins.
Wow. So the night before, how long did it take you guys to find out that she had been abducted?
Well, it took a while to find out that she had been kidnapped. I think it was to actually know that she had actually been kidnapped was probably about maybe 2 weeks that she had been kidnapped. Now, her car was found, but we still didn't know she was actually kidnapped, but we didn't know what had happened until the surveillance video from the convenience store that I found out that she was in. I'm the one who found out that she was in that Chevron by her Venmo purchase. I got into her email, and just so happened, I'm the one who set up her email for her and made the password for her, so I knew it. And I didn't go in her email all the time, or ever, really. I'm just the one who set it up for her. And so I knew she had been missing for maybe a little over 24 hours. And I was sitting in the middle of a parking lot, just trying to figure something, like, where's my child? Where's my baby? And I told my friend, I said, just look at her email. Just please, can you type in her email for me? I'm just looking at her email, see if I can find anything in there. And then that's when I saw the Venmo purchase, and I started screaming. It's like, oh my God, she swiped her card at 11:21 in the Chevron. So I immediately called the police, because it was at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and the police came out and made the report, but of course nothing got done until the next morning. And then they started working on getting the surveillance video from the Chevron that she was at. It took a while.
Jesus.
Because they didn't have the video. They didn't have the video, immediately. It had some time.
Wow. Oh my God. Wow. 2 whole weeks.
To know that she had been kidnapped. So we know she was kidnapped. We still didn't know where she was. It was a month.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So the night she went to the gas station and she swiped her card, that's the way that you found out, okay, 11:21, she had just used her card, but
Right.
now, no activity after that.
No activity. That was
And
the
no.
Right.
Right.
That was
And
the
I'm sure
last
you guys probably went to
activity.
calling her phone.
There
I'm
was
sorry,
no,
go
her
ahead.
phone was dead. Phone was dead. You know, going straight to voicemail. And it's not, it was 2 days later. It was on it was October 25th, probably about 6 or 7 p.m. that night, 2 days after she had been missing, when they found her car in Montgomery, Alabama.
And how far away from where she was going? I'm sure she was probably going back to her dorm room. So
Oh, her
how far
apartment.
was her car?
She had an
Apartment?
apartment just down the street from the store. She was just going. She had just dropped my son off, her brother, at his house, and she was going home. And she had just made a stop to get some chips at the store.
Ooh,
She had been
Jesus.
home that day,
And
so
that's
we went to a funeral. One of my friends and a close friend of Aniah's was killed in a car accident. So her and Elijah had came back to Birmingham, which is 2 hours north of Auburn. And we drove another 2 hours to the funeral north. So it was a 4-hour drive for her and Elijah. But like I say, she drove separate. Her and Elijah did. They followed me to Winfield, where I'm from. That's where the funeral was. The whole way there, me and Aniah talked on the phone. We FaceTimed each other, even driving in the car. That's how much we talked to each other. The whole way to the funeral, and then we got there. We spent some time with my family and friends, and then we went to the funeral. And it was getting late. It was like 7 p.m. and the funeral had not even started yet. That's how much he was loved. People were just coming in, you know, and wanting to see the family. And Aniah was sitting we were in a funeral home, and we were sitting on a pew, and she was sitting with my mom and my aunt. And then there was a family friend in the middle, and then me. And I think she was about 4 people down from me. And she looked over, she said, "Hey Mom, it's getting late, and, you know, we need to go. We have to, you know, I got to go to class in the morning. I've got to take my kids to school," which is she was a nanny to 3 beautiful little kids. And I said, "You're right, and it's getting late. It's 7 o'clock, and you have a 4-hour drive back to Auburn. So, you know, you guys need to go ahead and go." So she gets up and she walks past me and she hugs me, and I give her a kiss on the cheek. And I said, "I love you." And she said, "I love you too." And that's the last time I saw her.
Jesus. My God. And after she left and she was driving back, and you guys just talk, was that like normal for you guys to just talk like that? Like you said it's a 2-hour drive. So was that like normal for you guys to talk like that?
Yeah, we talked all the time. We'd even talked the morning before she even drove back, when she drove from Auburn to Birmingham. Like when she was getting ready to go to the funeral, she was calling me, and I was shopping. I was trying to pick out something for me to wear, and we were just on the phone constantly. we just couldn't stay off the phone with each other. I always knew what Aniah was doing and where she was going. We didn't really have any secrets ever or anything like that. We just had, like I say, we were like sisters. It's kind of crazy how, you know, I tried to be a mom and be stern and disciplined, but I was a good kid, so I really didn't have to. So we had a great relationship. She was such a good kid. She was such a good girl.
How old was Aniah?
Huh. What'd you say?
How old was Aniah?
19.
Aniah was
She was
19 at the
19.
time.
Mm-hmm.
And what year was she in college? Like her junior year?
She was in her sophomore year.
Sophomore year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when she made it back, she dropped off her brother and headed on home and just wanted a bag of chips. And that's what I like to tell women. Like when we get out cars and things like that, we don't think to look around. We just, you know, we go in to do what we know, what we're set out to do. Like, you know, if she wanted a bag of chips, she was going in to get her bag of chips. But then here it is. You have someone such as this guy decides that he wants to do this to your baby. And here it is. You guys just have no answers for 2 whole weeks. I mean, you still have to go on to be that mom. You still have to go on to be that wife. And I'm not sure if you went on to work. Could you even work during that time? Because
No, it was different for us. Our whole world shut down. We shut our whole world down. We didn't do anything but look for Aniah. We had set up a whole what do you call it? Goodness, sorry, I can't think of my words. A command center.
It's okay.
We set up a command center immediately at Church of the Highlands in Auburn. Had this building called the Dream Center, and it's kind of like an area where they have just a huge, like a warehouse where they stock supplies for things, and they actually had a kitchen and everything, and a laundry room, and they let us have that for a command center. And we set up posts, we were in full operation Find Aniah for the whole month. We didn't stop. My kids had to be taken care of by somebody else. Of course, I did not work. Our world stopped. Everything stopped. There was no normal going on about our life. Yep. Until the day. So till November 25th, until we were in Auburn the night before, we were about to go out and search the next morning. And we got the call that morning to come into the DA's office to be told that she was found. So we were still, that's all we did. We searched everywhere. I can't even tell you how much searching was done. It was a lot.
So how far was she from where her vehicle was found?
I would have to say, I'm just guesstimating, maybe 30 miles away was where she was found. But she was kidnapped from Auburn, and her car was found in Montgomery, which is a 50-mile drive or away from where her apartment.
So if you have that young woman that's out there, or that mother that's out there, that has a kid that's in college, or even maybe just a young girl who go outside to play, because now they're doing so much sex trafficking as well.
You can't let them go outside.
What would you say to the mother, the sister, the aunt, the grandmother? What would you say to them?
I'm gonna say that we're living in a different world than even when I grew up. I'm 47 years old, and I remember when I was little, my grandma telling me, of course that was, don't ever talk to, don't talk to strangers and things like that. That was the thing, just don't talk to strangers. But we're living in a world where you not only talk to strangers, you don't talk to, you have to be very vigilant on where you go and when you go, how you're going to go and how you're going to do it, because you have to plan out your every move now. Because even if you're just going to Walmart, if you're going to the grocery store, that has to be a plan, because there are so many different things that are going on. Not even sex trafficking is a huge, but just so much violence in the world, all types of violence, that you really have to plan. Like I said, this is what I teach all the time. You just have to have a plan in place for every minute of your life, basically. If you're not at home in your safe place, you've got to have a plan for everywhere you go. You can't go outside. You can't let your kids just go outside and play anymore. That's just not a thing. It's sad, but it is. It's not a thing anymore. I'm going to talk about a little girl. I have to talk about, since you brought it up, about letting kids go out and play, about, you may have heard about Cupcake. Her name was Camille McKinney. And I'm going to cry because I'll tell you what it means. It means so much to me because she was just 3, here in Birmingham, where I'm from. She was outside playing at a birthday party. She was actually, it was just a couple of weeks before Aniah's kidnapping. She was kidnapped when she was outside playing just with some kids at a birthday party. And they found Cupcake 2 days before Aniah was kidnapped. And when I heard that they found Cupcake deceased, I fell to the ground like she was my child. And little did I know, 2 days later, my daughter would be kidnapped. So, Cupcake was only outside playing at a birthday party, and she was kidnapped. And then Aniah was only going to get a bag of chips. So, people just have to get it through their head. They do. They don't associate. They put it out of their mind, or they think, oh, it's not, that happens to other people. That doesn't happen to me, right? It only happens to other people. Yes. I'm the other people. Right. It happened, and I'm just a normal, everyday person. This happens to everybody, anybody, in anywhere. It doesn't have to be a certain area. It doesn't have to be a bad neighborhood.
Right.
This happens everywhere. And sex trafficking is the human trafficking. We'll say human trafficking. I say that because they traffic for all different reasons, not just for sex. They traffic for organs, you know.
Wow. Wow. And just like you said, you don't have to be in a bad area. You said the kid just wanted to be outside playing. Anaya just wanted the bag of chips. And I just want to go out and just have a good time. You know, I was kidnapped from a bank, you know, and I literally saw my life flash before my eyes. And I just knew the guy was going to kill me. I just knew it, especially when he told me to get out the truck. I knew then that I started thinking about what's going to happen to my children, right? So during that time, to me, it seemed like it was 2, 3, 4 hours, Angela. And really, it only was probably 30 minutes when everything transpired. But just that 30-minute span, thinking, not knowing. So I can only imagine what was going through Anaya's mind. To hear, you know, to have this guy driving us and then have another guy following behind us, you know, just it was the scariest moment of my life. And then my first intentions were to run. However, the very next day, Angela, this guy went out and robbed some tourists and he shot them.
Goodness.
He shot them. And I saw it on the news, and I called the news and I told them that was the same guy that robbed me as well. But again, not being aware of your surroundings, I definitely wasn't, because I'm telling you, I had my head down in the book. Something said look up, and the moment I looked up, I heard the gun click. When I heard the gun click, my friend girl was coming back to the truck, and he stuck the gun in her side. Yes. And I knew then, should I run or do I stay? He made me get out the truck, get in the back seat, and he drove the truck. And his friend followed. So as women, as people, period, I mean, they're not only doing this to women, but like you say, you have to have a plan. And here it is, Aniah dropped her brother off that night. Were there any conversation between her and her brother where she said, you know, call me when you get home? Or because I know that I'm good with that. Call me as soon as you get home. I want to know when you get home. So was there any conversation with her and her brother?
Well, I don't think there was an actual call me when you get home, but it was he said be careful going home, and I love you. And she said, okay, and I love you too. So there wasn't the actual just call me when you get home. I think that they were so close. They didn't live far from each other. You know, it's just about a mile or two. He had a house and she was going to her apartment. It wasn't far away. So I think that he kind of in his mind, and her too, like, you know, she was going to be okay. I'm just down the street, you know, I'm just going down the street. So
and they
he didn't know she was going to stop at the store at all. And Aniah loved her snacks, and if you would have saw her room growing up, and then her room whenever I went to clean her room at her apartment, chip bags right there on her side table and in her drawer, because that's what she did. She loved to snack before she went to sleep, and she just wanted her bag of chips. And you know, I know her thoughts were, let me just run grab me a bag of chips. I don't have any at home. And her roommate said that she was out of her favorite chips at home, so she just stopped to get her some chips.
Oh my God. I know that we pulled a couple of the clips, and I'm not sure if you're okay with us showing them, because I want the audience to be aware of what's going on, and how did your story transpire. So are you okay with showing the clip?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and roll the clip of the 48 hours. Angela. Guys, we're here live today, and It Had to Happen with Erica Wilson. with the beautiful Angela Harris. Aniah's Heart Speak. Aniah Blanchard was kidnapped and murdered 2019. And here her mother stands here before you guys, fighting to get one, a law passed for her daughter, two, to bring awareness to us all, and three, she stands before us with in need of lots and lots of prayer. Because as we look at her, we can see the hurt, we can see the brokenness, we can see just the hurt. I can't even fathom. And I must say that you're doing a phenomenal job
Thank you.
in memory of the late Aniah. Cry if you have to cry. Shout if you have to shout. Scream if you have to scream. But just know that you're doing a phenomenal job for your daughter.
Thank you
You're
so
a
much.
pillar of strength for your family, and I can see that you have a great support system surrounding you, and that's what matters.
I do.
You're
I'm
most
very blessed to
welcome.
have a lot of good support.
Yes. And hmm, I'm stuck, Angela. I have to be honest. I'm stuck. I'm at a loss for words, and this is never me. Um, hmm, how do you explain this to your children
Um,
without
that
them
was,
being in fear?
when I had to tell Asa and Ayla, well, and I, told them together, but that's not something, first you don't want to tell them that their sister's gone, but how why she's gone, what happened, but actually it has raised they're super vigilant now about their safety. Ayla is my 8-year-old has made safety her life too. She's actually helps me so much with Aniah's heart. She's so aware of everything that's going on, and always together, she and I, like, she reminds me, oh mom, we got to do this to be safe, we got to do that to be safe, and she loves to research things and to help me with anything that we're doing about Aniah's heart. I really don't think, and Asa is just heartbroken, my 15-year-old, but he loved his sister so much. I don't think it's kind of hard to say because it's kind of not hit us like it's not real, but does that make sense? It's like Aniah's in
Yes.
Auburn and she's going to come home, because we never saw Aniah. We just saw her alive, but he said, like, just example, this morning, he said, Mom, I want to walk you to your car. I want to, he's always looking out and always being aware of his surroundings too, and safe. And, so it's kind of hard to explain to people like what we're going through, because I don't even think we understand what we're going through. We just know that we're hurt. I don't even know how to explain it. Our life is just different. It just doesn't feel. The world just doesn't feel right, and it just don't feel right. Our life doesn't feel right. We've let things go. Like, our life is just not the same. But some of the things that we used to do, we just never will do anymore. The kids, I'm talking about the kids. even with like ASO, with like
Yeah.
his sports and things like that, he's not interested.
Mhm.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I'm sure.
But it's
And
hard to
I
explain to them.
did
I don't want them
see.
to know everything I don't keep anything from them. To answer I feel like I
Okay.
didn't answer your question. They know the truth about everything that happened, and I feel like it's important for them to know the truth, because I don't want them hearing it from anybody else either. They need to know everything that happened to their sister, because they need to hear it from us and not, from someone else or on the news or something like that. So, yeah.
And that was one of the things I saw a clipping too where Anaya actually had a fear. She used to worry about being kidnapped and things like that. Was there something that kind of happened to her in her past, or she saw something that kind of put this fear in her?
No, I always taught her. I taught her. No, she never had anything happen to her, but I was a sexual assault nurse at Children's. And I just always was honest and open with my kids about everything in life. I never hid things from them. I just told them what was going on in the world, and, good, bad, ugly, whatever. I told them because I wanted them to know, and I wanted them to learn from me. And Anaya just didn't like being, and also she just, I guess, Anaya was a very beautiful girl. And I told her, I said, you're special, you're unique, you're different, and you're gonna, you're gonna draw attention, to people. And she just didn't like being, hit on or catcalled or anything like that. And I think that she just was she was just very protective of herself. She just took care of herself, and always. And I don't know where the fear come from, because it didn't nothing happened to her. I don't know, maybe Anaya just had a feeling, maybe that was God's way of trying to protect her. I don't know, but yeah, she was, when we would go places, she actually, it was always safe. So her stopping at the store that night, to me, wasn't, I know Anaya was aware of her safety. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that she wasn't being careless when she was at the store, because anytime that she would go anywhere, she was always like afraid of people talking to her, or worried about things happening, things like that. She was very, very aware, always. So,
Yes.
but sometimes, like you describe your situation, when someone walks up to you and they got a gun in your face, there's not a whole lot you can do sometimes when that happens. So that's why I say you have to have a plan, because you got to prepare for that gun to be put in your face. And when that happens, what are you going to do? Because you gotta have a plan. And that's one thing we didn't ever talk about. We talked about being aware, but we didn't talk about, well, what's going to happen if somebody puts a gun in your face? What's going to happen then? What do you do then? And I feel bad. And that's why now, I teach my kids, and I'm teaching the world. I want to teach the world and tell the world, hey, you got to be ready, because somebody could walk up to you and, you gotta, if somebody catches you off guard and walks up to you, you don't want to be caught off guard. You don't want to be caught off guard.
Right.
And if you're caught, but you can be, and what's going to happen if you're even on guard? If you're on guard, what are you going to do? So that's why I feel like, knowing what to do in every situation is very important. That's why I teach what I teach with my nonprofit, is every scenario. What do you do when they get you? What do you do when they've got a gun in your face? What do you do then? Because but that's, from experience, you've been through it. You can't just tell someone, you don't know what you'll do in that situation. You don't, right?
That is so true.
You don't really know until you're put in it. But at least if you can have a little bit of hey, this is possible that it could happen to you sometime, in life, like it's a thing, like it's really a thing. Because people, like I say, people just don't think it can happen to them. And that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem, is people just
Angela,
don't
I
think
was
it can happen
one.
to them. Yeah.
I was one. One to think that, and you just don't know what would you do in that situation. And the funniest part is, they watched the whole thing happen. They watched the whole thing, the entire thing happen. It started at the bank, and then he kidnapped us and took us to some area. But they watched the whole thing happen, and they just thought it was a boyfriend girlfriend dispute, you know. And
Yeah. And that's why I
you just
support it.
don't
If you
know.
see something, say something. People don't want to get involved, but you have to get
Yes.
involved. Like, you have to get involved.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
have to. Just can't, we can't stress that enough.
It's
Just
so
keep
true.
going. Just keep going with that. I'm not going to give up. I'll never shut up. People are going to get tired of me probably, but I'm going to keep on spreading that all over. You see something, say something, be prepared, have a plan. It's not going to get any better. I mean, the world's not going to get any better, sadly. I hate that, but it's not, so
So
we have to
true.
be prepared.
So true. So if one want to get in contact with you, can you please tell us how, if they want to volunteer, if they want to learn about these classes, even we want to speak about the Aniah's Law, how can we get that passed, help you get that passed?
Well, if you're a resident in the state of Alabama, the governor's already signed the bill, but it has to be voted on in November of 2022, the next election. The bill has to be voted on, and I'm so sure that it will be. I can't think of anybody who would vote no. So when it's voted on that day, it will become a law. So if you're only residents in Alabama, we'll be able to vote on that. But that's something. Aniah's Law needs to be a national law. I know that there's some states that do have it, but there's a lot that don't have a law like this. But that's where I want to go with it. I want to make sure that every state has this law. But with Aniah's Heart, we have a website. It's aniahsheart22.com. And also we have a Facebook page and an Instagram page and a Twitter page. It's just at Aniah's Heart. And you can send messages on there. Or you can send an email to finishingherfight@aniahsheart22.com. And, that's what I'm doing. I know Aniah fought for her life that night, and I'm finishing that fight by doing this. This is how I'm fighting with Aniah. I was trying to finish that fight that he started that night, and my daughter, she's going to win in the end.
That's right. Amen. We have someone on here saying, which is my cousin Tashikia. She said, what is Aniah's Law? And could you please share?
Okay. So Aniah's Law is a bond reform law. Like right now in the state of Alabama, the judge can only say no bond in a capital murder charge. Well, Aniah's Law is going to give the judges, it's going to give the DAs the ability to be able to call a hearing. And if there's someone's been charged with a violent crime, that they can show evidence as to why that person should not get a bond. And then the judge will have Aniah's Law to back it up to say, okay, I'm granting no bond to this violent criminal. So they'll have Aniah's Law then to because right now there is no law. They have to grant a bond to anyone other than someone who's been charged with capital murder. So it's going to keep a lot of the violent offenders in jail where they belong and save a lot of lives.
Oh my God. Oh.
Yep.
Guys, we're here live today with your girl Erica Wilson, and it had to happen. I have Aniah's Heart right here before you guys, which is the beautiful Angela Harris, is her mother. She's sharing her story on her daughter, 19 years old, kidnapped and murdered. And she's fighting. She's fighting. But in the meantime, while she's fighting, she needs strength. She needs prayers. She needs help. So if you can, guys, please be so kind to lift Angela up in prayer. Or if you would like to help out her organization, her website is now scrolling across the screen. Please do reach out to Miss Angela if you would like to learn. Maybe I think you do self-defense classes as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she has a couple of things that's going on. So please do visit her website so you can see exactly some of the things that she has going on. But I'm going to show this last video when you guys was on Dr. Phil. So Yes, please, please, please pay attention because this baby just walked into the store just trying to get her a bag of chips. Let's roll that clip.
It seems like it was actually set up and it was something that was planned.
The parents of Aniah Blanchard tell Dr. Phil they believe her disappearance was a planned kidnapping. The 19-year-old Alabama woman went missing on October 23rd. She was last seen grabbing a snack at a gas station in Auburn. Her mother, Angela, and stepfather, Walt Harris, the UFC heavyweight fighter, appeared on Dr. Phil to discuss the latest developments in her case.
I have feelings that there may be somebody that she knows that has set her up. I have things something that we can't really discuss, but there's something that we know that they are helping a lead that they're working on to try to help figure that part out.
Police have arrested this man, 29-year-old Ibrahim Yazid. He was seen on surveillance cameras inside the gas station convenience store at the same time as Aniah. He's been charged with kidnapping and is being held without bond. A judge has issued a gag order in this case. Investigators found Aniah's car after her disappearance and said there was a significant amount of blood inside. But her family continues to hold out hope she will be returned safely.
We're looking for you. We're doing everything that we can, and we're gonna get you.
For InsideEdition.com, I'm Mara Montalbano.
Guys, as you can see, Aniah entering the store just to grab a bag of chips. I hope that this sheds some light for each and every one of you who's going out. Angela, just the other day, I went out to meet someone I didn't even know, trying to do something for someone and didn't even think about my safety, just wanting to help. So sometimes we can kind of slip up a little bit, but just know that you will win the fight. The fight is already won, Angela. It's already won. It's already won. Aniah is a winner. She's a winner. No matter what these people or that person did to her, just know that she's living through you, her memory. She's living through you now. And the strength that you have, you understand? The strength that you have, knowing that you not only lost one child, but here it is, you lose your daughter. Was there ever a time where you questioned God, like how could you or why?
Not with Aniah. I did with Darian. I was young. I was 23. Being a Christian, I'm a Christian. But I questioned God then. But I knew this wasn't God. I knew this was the devil, the pure devil. So I never questioned God on this. I do say why. I ask why. I don't understand why. But I didn't blame God because I knew this wasn't God's work.
Jesus. Oh.
But I believe that God is making good out of what the devil has done.
Absolutely. He always says that, the Bible tells us, well, good is present. The enemy, he loves to work through people. That's number one. He loves to work through people. And sometimes the attack could come with the ones that we love. When things happen to us, I heard you say that you were a victim. Did you say that you were a victim of molestation?
Yes.
You see, and happened to me when I was 10. And at the time, we don't understand why these things happen to us, and I don't know how to tie this in together, but just know that God is definitely working this thing for your good. Like I say, you have the victory. This fight is already won. It's won because not only it happened to you, but by you sharing your story, you're helping so many others. I watch your Instagram page. I see how many young women is coming up missing. Not just young women. I just saw a young man on your page
Yeah.
that's missing,
Oh,
guys. Like,
it's men, it's boys, it's men. That's why I don't narrow it down to just, I don't teach just girls. It's every human being, every human being.
and like you say, we think that it can't happen to us, but guys, it's happening to young and old. Angela spoke about the 3-year-old cupcake who, well, she was just outside playing with her friends, and here it is, kidnapped and murdered.
Yeah.
Anaya going to get a bag of chips, kidnapped and murdered. You know, there's, like you say, so much violence that's out there now. We have to be all so careful. And here it is, Angela has this nonprofit organization, Aniah's Heart, where she's teaching. And she said that you guys will never, you're going to get tired of her because she's going to keep going as long as she can. She's going to keep going for her daughter. So Angela, what you don't know is my assistant, who you have been in contact with, Miss Taylor Hall. She's in Tallahassee. She's in college herself.
Okay.
And she says, thank you for sharing. I will definitely share with my friends who are residents of Alabama to go out and vote. So thank you, Miss Taylor. I really
Thank you,
appreciate
Taylor.
that. You also have to, Tashikia, she says, we are sending lots of love, virtual hugs, and prayers for you and your family. Guys, definitely lift up the Harris family during this time. And we want to get this law passed in Alabama.
Yes,
So if you know
absolutely.
anyone that's a resident of Alabama, please do reach out to them and tell them to go out and vote for Aniah's law. We not only want the law to be passed in Alabama, we want Aniah's law to be nationwide. Okay. Angela, is there anything that you would like to leave with the audience on today?
I just want to go ahead. First, I'd say thank you to you for having me, and letting me share my daughter's life and her story.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to tell people that the main thing is, please, Aniah, I want them to go look at Aniah's pictures. I want them to watch her videos. I want them to know who she was, so they'll know all about her and know who we're talking about, because she was amazing. And if you'll just watch videos I post of her and stuff, just to hear her laugh and hear her talk and to know who she was, you'll understand. And her death, that Aniah died really for all of us to be safe, if that makes any sense. She gave her life to save other lives, and that's what I want everyone to know. So don't take it lightly. Don't just say, oh, that's just, that's not going to happen to me, or that just happens in other places or whatever. Just please, I'm begging everyone basically to understand that you have to put your safety first. It's got to be a priority in life now, right along with everything that you do every day. That has to be, like I said from the beginning, when I was missing, I even said these words: go home, talk to your family, get a plan. Everybody's might have a different plan, but just get a plan. Talk about things that may be uncomfortable situations, but they have to be talked about. And you have to make that a part of your life. Safety has to be an everyday talk amongst families, friends, everyone.
Absolutely. Is there a way to get this, like in schools, to speak to different schools about this?
Well, I do speaking in schools. I'm trying to,
Okay.
whoever wants me to come, just contact Aniah's Heart, and I will go wherever. I'll go anywhere. I'll go all over the world. Because I have people follow me from all over the world: Russia, England, New Zealand. I had a lady from New Zealand watching my live the other night. I'll travel anywhere to teach people about safety, but trying to get as many, high schools and colleges as I can. But just contact Aniah's Heart, and I will go anywhere that wants me to come speak.
Oh, absolutely. And we definitely will be sharing it here when it had to happen as well, because this is something that definitely needs to be taught and heard. But guys, I do have some of the most beautiful pictures that I want to share before we let Angela go. So you guys can see how infectious Aniah's smile was. Oh my gosh, she had the most beautiful smile whatsoever. So if we can, let's go ahead and roll Aniah's pictures. Angela, I must say, you guys can go for sisters. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Just know
She
that
was.
you,
She was my little mini me.
yes, that is your personal angel that you have with you everywhere you go now. And Angela, you keep fighting. If there's anything that we can do here at It Had to Happen, I'm just a phone call away. Please, please do not hesitate. Do not let this be the last time that we talk, God's willing. Again, if it's anything that I can do, I'm actually going to reach out to one of my friends out of Miami in Parkland. I don't know if you heard of the Parkland shooting, where the 17 kids were, well, 17 people was murdered at school. Have you heard about that down in Parkland, Florida? Can you hear me? I'm not sure if Angela can hear me. Angela, can you hear me? You can't hear me? Testing one, two, three. Can you hear me? Thumbs up, you can hear me? I think we've lost Angela, but Angela, I will be calling you. See, Mish, can we see what happened with her sound? Can you
Yeah.
hear me now? Is it my sound or
No, it's something going on with
Angela?
her.
Can you hear
Her
me?
mic is off too. So I think when she was adjusting her screen, it might have done something to kick her speaker and mic off.
Oh, your mic. Check your mic. I don't know how to text her.
No.
Can you hear me, Angela?
Okay.
I can
Can
hear
you hear
her now.
me
Hello?
now?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I was saying that I'm gonna reach out to one of my friends down in Parkland. I don't know if you heard of the Parkland shooting where the 17 people lost their lives at school on Valentine's Day. She do a lot of advocating as well. So I would like to connect the two, and definitely try and get you in some schools because this is something that needs to be heard and taught. And you're doing, like I said, a phenomenal job, doing exactly what it is you're doing for Anaya. So, guys, if you can, please do go over to Angela's website. The website is scrolling across the screen in 1 second. And please do before you go to bed, not just tonight, but continue to pray for Angela, the Harris family. Um, Keep them in your prayers. And again, Angela, is there anything that I can do? Please do let me know. Please, please, please do not let this be the last time that we speak. Again, I would like to volunteer, and whatever it is that I can do and it's within my reach, I definitely will do. It was such a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation. Angela, we could not do this without our audience. We want to shout out our audience. Norma Smith, my Norma Smith, Taylor Hall, thank you. Tashikia, thank you. Fatima Morgan, thank you. Melinda Harris, thank you. Thank you all for tuning in with us here at It Had to Happen for Aniah's Heart Speak, episode 8, season 3. Guys, please do meet me back here on Monday. There will not be a show on tomorrow. God's willing, meet me back here on Monday at 5:30, guys, for an hour of power. Man, have God been doing some things through Flight 2021. You definitely, definitely do not want to miss. I didn't get a chance to show as much as I wanted to. I think I got tied up, but to God be the glory. Angela is such a beautiful soul, and I truly, truly thank you. Thank you, Angela. I know you're gone now, but I hope you're listening in. Thank you for accepting my invitation again, and you are definitely in our prayers. My cousin said sending my prayers. So, guys, again, lift Angela up. Go over to her website, even follow her on her social media pages so you can see how much is going on in the world. Every time I look on her page, there's a kid or individual that's missing. And like she said, we sometimes think that it can't happen to us, but it can happen everywhere. So please do be careful of your surroundings. And like she said, she gave you a nugget. Make a plan. Make a plan if you just have to go out. College students, please do be careful. Telehall, you know I'm going to stay on you. But definitely, everybody, man, woman, or child, be careful of your surroundings. And like she said, you cannot let kids just go outside and play anymore. It's not like the old days where we went outside and we had a ball and had to worry about anything. So guys, please do lift up Angela, the Harris family in your prayers, and Aniah Hart support, whether it's just volunteering, if you know where she could get into a school to speak, to bring awareness, wherever you think that this can go, please let's help her make this happen, because there's so many things that's happening in the world today, so many people that's missing. Again, I saw on the news before, and I have to share this before I go. I just saw on the news there was another kidnapping years ago. I don't remember how many years ago, but years ago. However, the young lady was returned back home. In some cases, they don't return back home, which is in Aniah's case. So guys, please do help Angela out by spreading the word. One, if you have anybody in Alabama, please do, a resident. If you have anybody that's in Alabama, have them to go out and vote for Aniah's law. Two, Angela say make a plan. Three, if you can get her in anybody's school, anybody on any platform to speak about Aniah's heart, please do reach out to her. Information is going across the screen, but last but not least, definitely keep them in your prayers. God bless you all. I'm sending out some virtual hugs and some virtual love, because guys, we love you so very much. Oh, my Norma says it was 14 years. Wow, she was missing, but she was returned. But we love you here at It Had to Happen. We could not do this without you guys, and we're forever grateful for you all. Book now for flight 2021. Until next time, God bless you. Bye-bye.
Erica's Empowering Empire. 88 Blessings Soar Movement. It had to happen in a beauty so rare. We'd love for you to join us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. It Had to Happen with Erica Wilson. Following our